Yay, I'm recording this right before first period starts, so there's going to be a lot of bells ringing, so don't get confused, okay? It's the recording, not the real bell. We're going to work on perpendicular lines, and here is the essential question. Go ahead and so then now what you're going to do is you have to construct perpendicular bisectors, and we did that in class yesterday. Because I knew I would be gone. And you just have to, I know this sounds really bad, but you basically have to just memorize these. Okay, perpendicular bisector theorem basically says if a point is on the perpendicular bisector of the segment, then it is equidistant from the endpoints of the segment. What that means is if there's a point here and this happens to be a perpendicular bisector, then this and this measure the same, and it doesn't matter like where that point is. If the point was, let's say, right here, then this line and this line would measure the same, and that's all that means. Okay, and of course you have to understand it, but you just have to kind of memorize it and then use that to solve math problems. Okay, so over here, for example, it says ED. Here's ED. ED is, this is 16. And then DA, this is 20. So then what do you think DC is? It says BD is the perpendicular bisector. Then of course this is going to be the same as that. So your answer is 20 centimeters, okay? So, if you know the theorem, it's going to be easy to solve the math problem, okay? So there's this thing called indirect proof. You assume that the statement you're trying to prove is false. So another thing that you just have to know. Then you use logic to lead to a contradiction, okay? Then you can conclude that the assumption was false and the original statement is true. And then this is just a way of proving stuff, and they're telling you that because they use that to prove this theorem down here, which basically means you gotta also know this theorem. The converse of the perpendicular bisector theorem says pretty much if you have a line like this, it's supposed to be a segment, not like that, but anyhow, okay, so let's say if you have a line and then another line like that, and then you ended up measuring the length from here to here and here to here, and if this was 20 centimeters and then this side also ended up being 20 centimeters, it's basically saying that then that means that this point is on the perpendicular bisector. So it's just the opposite of the other one. The perpendicular bisector theorem says, okay, I gotta, Miss Choi, hi. Sorry about that, a lot of distractions today. So anyway, it's just the opposite, okay, and that's what you have to know. If the length is the same, okay, same thing. If AD is 10 inches long and BD is 6 inches long, then find the length of AC. Okay, well, for this one, you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so you're gonna go 10 squared is equal to 6 squared plus x squared. And when you find this length, you're going to add it because there's two of them because they measure the same. Okay? And this is kind of sad. How do you know that this is the perpendicular bisector? Because it shows here that this and that is the same length. And so automatically we know that these two are going to be the same length, okay? And then over here, it's just proofs. And of course, I told you about proofs. You have to understand, you have to know how to give out the reasons on this side, okay? Because I told you everybody goes about a proof differently, and as long as it's logical, it's supposed to be correct, and you start from here and you end there, right? Okay. So then over here, this is a really cool question and your last homework question. So these two lines are parallel to each other. These two lines are parallel to each other. And angle measure 1 is 50 degrees. Measure of angle 5 is 90 degrees. So what do you think measure of angle 4 is? Well, if these two are parallel, let's see, this is 50 degrees. This is 50 degrees. So I think we can tell that this is going to be 50 degrees, right? Am I right? So it's really easy, these questions. You just have to understand what it is that you are looking for. I am actually in kind of a hurry. Actually, so no, this is not 50 because this is 50. We know that this is 50. And then this is going to be 40 degrees. The answer is going to be 40 degrees. Okay, I will try and explain to you this more in detail. This is your homework question anyway, so you're supposed to work on it. That's it for today. Please make sure you watch all the other videos to be prepared for the test. Happy learning. I will miss you very much today. Goodbye.